There's a whole subgenre of YouTube videos that seem to really only aim is to dunk on certain videos that are typically not very good, though I would say they almost come off a lot of the time as lower IQ than the video that they're dunking on. Now, they tend to try to cover that up by using an assortment of buzzwords and insults to mask their own insecurities. Occasionally, these channels will punch upwards with such big names like Ackman, but even then, sometimes when trying to defend their opinions on these subject matters and these bigger creators, they won't be able to defend their actual positions. Recently, a YouTuber, and I use that term very loosely, Baka-kun did the normal punching down thing that these parasitic channels tend to do on a channel that I actually find rather interesting, Anna Waifu. But you know, instead of engaging with Baka's dumpster fire of content, let me show a channel like Baka-kun's How a Critique Video Should Be Done, demonstrating on Anna Waifu's How Casual Gamers Ruin Gaming, with a bit of nuance and a little bit of humor. And not this.
Oh boy, another video about politics and gaming because I hate myself.
And we're off to a great start. First of all, putting politics and video games in the same sentence is never a good sign of a mentally stable individual. But then also unironically simping for Synthetic Man, which this person does on a regular basis, on top of unironically using the term gamer. You already know we're in for quite a bit of stupidity for this one.
Really using the first 3 seconds to question the sanity of the uploader of the video just because she uses a combo of words that Baka here doesn't like to see being put together. It really says more about him than Anna. Since his next response also has very little value and you can watch it for yourself, I'll link it, you know, just in case you want to see any of his other commentary, which I use very loosely. So let me start with my response. If I had anything to say about this section, it would be that it's rather foolish for Anne here to, you know, fall into the trap that talking about video games should be considered political. But, you know, maybe she wanted to add that trigger warning for sensitive snowflakes like Baka-kun here. Not really something I care to do, but to each their own. And instead of me fast forwarding the video, I'm guessing to pad out the runtime of a nearly substanceless video that people like Baka really likes to do that I've noticed. Instead of that, I'm just gonna cut to the relevant sections I want to respond to, because unlike many of these Griffin clones that I've been seeing around, I do my videos because, you know, I'm interested in online discourse and not for money or clout like they seem to be. Hell, if I did, I'd be better off doing the same grift as these people embrace. So I'm just gonna cut to the relevant sections of the video that I'm actually addressing.
I researched gaming. Video games have always led into a specific niche. Mostly people who got bullied or wet-willied because you were seen as a nerd, a geek, or made fun of for liking video games. Even in the early 2000s, my timeline, you were made fun of for playing video games. And then in 2012, 2013, the casuals started playing video games and fucking ruined everything.
Okay, here we have, you know, a little bit of personal background to know where Anna's coming from and why we're about to get the argument, if you want to call it that, in the title from.
The issue with casuals entering a medium like this is that they don't really care about the medium itself. They want to change everything to fit their own narrative or their standards of what gaming should be, and young people who didn't grow up with video games don't give a shit about to play older ones. They just want to play their God of War Ragnaroks or Call of Duties or Assassin's Creeds, GTA, whatever it is.
You know, all of this is rather presumptuous. Anna really seems to be using the same logic that all casual gamers are a certain way, as I'm certain those who look down on those gamers she was talking about in the 2000s did. I do hope she gets into details of why she has this really broad stereotype characteristic of casual gamers that really, from my personal experience and from everything that I know, isn't really even true.
They don't care about quality, they care about graphics and if it's relevant. It doesn't matter if the game is good, it doesn't matter if it's going to make them happy, or if it's $60 worthy. No. If Markiplier talks about it and it's got decent graphics, it's a 10 out of 10. Like, why do casuals care about graphics so much? I don't get it. Like, I really don't. Can someone in the comments tell me why casuals care about graphics so much? I'm actually serious, because I don't really know.
Okay, I guess not. Here, let me help her understand. Graphics is something that's more pushed to justify the pushing of new hardware and to justify the price because of the amount of time and manpower that is needed to make these next-gen games. As for good games and what makes people happy, that is a very subjective thing. Even if I do believe these games pushing for realistic graphics, our problem when people try to change the gameplay loop to be more innovative in the market, they tend to lose money because, shocker, change is scary to people. Look at how long it took Dark Souls to have a really serious market success with a different design philosophy that almost no game company wanted to take a chance on in the past, and see how it evolved over the years to produce a rather successful game in Elden Ring. And then you have dipshits whining about how it isn't innovative enough. Seriously, don't hate the players, hate the game. By that I mean the process of AAA gaming development. P.S. Markiplier and a lot of other cringy Let's Players have helped plenty of newer indie games get out to wider audiences. So really don't hate on them too hard, even if he and a lot of them have become less cool over the years.
It's like these people say that Jim Sterling or the Act Man give good, criticisms and reviews on games. No, they don't. They don't care about giving you quality entertainment. They care about shilling stuff to you. YouTubers like these people aren't your friends. You're a dime in a dozen. Another penny that goes to their pockets. Like, I get it. Someone that you think is nice and handsome, you trust them. I get it.
Okay, I probably didn't cut off the simpery too quickly here, but it has to end here, even if it is a tad amusing to me personally. But who the hell says that anyone, even the casuals, really cares about the opinions of the Ackman or Jim Stephanie Sterling? And shills? For who? I can believe for themselves maybe, because, just maybe you need to understand that they do care about entertainment. Well, can't speak for Stephanie Sterling, but at least in the Ackman's case, but it's really not about the entertainment of the games, but for their brand. And it's really the same with almost any big YouTuber out there. This is why they become corporate and shills and go more for entertainment than factual shit. But, there's not much factual shit in this video either, so you're not even shilling for anyone, except for maybe Synthetic Man. And speaking of Synthetic Man, does she seriously not think Synthetic Man doesn't do the same exact thing? Okay.
Of course, they also have the exception, or the obsession, with making games like movies, which I don't understand. You buy games to play them, not watch them like movies. Can you see something like Dead Space 2 or Kirby as a movie? Do you know how boring that would be? What is so entertaining about sitting on your couch with your controller, watching 10 minutes worth of cutscenes? I really don't get it. Am I alone here? Aside from Synthetic Man, am I alone? Am I wrong? I skip all the cutscenes. Just let me play the game, my god.
Yeah, a lot of gamers don't care for storytelling in games, especially not in cutscenes. But some people do. Some people don't have your hoity-toity expectations because they weren't cradled to the grave playing games from in the womb. Some people want to be engaged and sometimes even take a break from the combat with both the storytelling element told in a cinematic way and let it flow into the gameplay elements of the video game. It's all about balance and how it's done, but no examples, so even your Synthetic Man will concede to that certain point in some instances when it suits his particular bias.
Even when a lot of the best quips were during these radio calls, it was still characters being face to face, so you could see their emotional reaction to the lines, right? When it's during gameplay, it's not the same. Which is kind of weird because if you know me, you know I don't like cutscenes generally, and I'd say the remake probably does have less cutscenes overall than the original.
Synthetic Man complaining about not having cutscenes in the remake. Do you really think World of Warcraft would have been as widely popular as it was if it wasn't for the story, the characters, the world building in that game, along with really a world of people that could lose themselves via the gaming elements introduced into that MMO? And how they got so much pushback from all those changes that they made to the game to make it more easy for the casuals, that they ended up bringing back classic World of Warcraft, which I'm sure brought what Anne is calling casuals more deeper into the gaming world. Everyone starts off as a casual. It's just a matter of if you have the time, energy, and interest to get to Anna Waifu's ultimate player status and out of that casual area.
You know, going into this, I knew that I would have to talk about the worst thing in the gaming industry, because to me, I don't think it's the lefties that are totally ruining this industry. It's a big part of it, but casuals are the reason lefties are even in this industry. Because as the video game crash of the 80s and 90s, all the industries were wanting to improve graphics and try to broaden their horizons to get everyone into gaming, even though casuals care less about gaming. It's really pretty fascinating to watch how downhill this industry went in just 2 decades. That's what happens when you don't gatekeep, because if you don't gatekeep, people ruin everything, just like Elvis Presley.
Sorry, but how the hell are casuals to blame for lefties being in the industry? You don't just say that and leave off with a joke about Elvis? Come on! Let's bring up Gamergate. I guess saying that the game journos, saying that they insulted a large group of gamers by simping for a girl might not be the best tactic for #1 simp Anna Waifu to make here. But that is how I see how the industry got at least the marketing push to go in this direction that Anna Waifu disdains so much, but yet no mention of Gamergate. Joke about Elvis? I'm starting to doubt she's serious about this video. And really, pairing that with #BelieveAllWomen adds to the mess that just created just a horrible atmosphere for pushing out anything or anyone who would dare say a bad thing about a woman, in some cases minorities and other oppressed groups, that push many game developers to, cater to that social movement. Exactly how does that relate to the average casual gamer? Yeah, maybe some of them, but shit, I don't know how you're putting this at the feet of the casual. Even if I do playfully mock some people for being casuals, it's more of a joke, something in good humor. I'm hoping this video is.
They don't care about quality. They don't care if the game is actually good. They don't care. They don't care if the show is good. They don't care about the medium they're associated with. Who cares that there's wokeness in video games? Who cares that white characters have been changed to black? Who cares that the game crashes every few seconds because these games are so poorly optimized? Oh my god, I hate modern games so much. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I understand. She doesn't think that casuals care. I really want to press X to doubt. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. This is really coming from a personal place for her. Or I want to say that she loves it or passion, but games can't love you back. Not all casuals don't care, as she states. It's just for many of them, they don't want to think as deeply about game design and the gaming industry, or even have the time and motivations, with real work and real jobs. They just want to find something they can enjoy, and they just want to find something they can enjoy and escape from their harsh reality with. But no examples here. I don't want to use anecdotal on my side, but I'm sure that is the case for a lot of what she's calling casuals. I mean, seriously, just because they don't care as deeply about games as she does, or anyone else, or even me about video games, doesn't mean that they don't care at all. Some people just have bigger concerns in life than freaking entertainment.
Writing the script and recording is so hard to do. Seeing my favorite medium being thrown under the bus like this is so freaking depressing. Casuals, this is your fault. You could be saying that it's lefties, but what do you think lefties are? Casuals. I just can't anymore. I can't, man. I'm done. I can't. Casuals are people like Jim Sterling, people who pretend they care about gaming but could care less if it disappears off the face of this earth. Casuals care about graphics and story, and care if their favorite popular gamer guy is talking about it. The game doesn't matter. It's all about the perception around the game, if they care about it.
Again, Ann, all casual are lefties? I know for a fact that isn't true. Plenty of center and right-wingers would be what we consider casual. I guess it's a matter of what you consider casual. But seriously, I don't think most of them have the time or sometimes energy to be serious gamers or spend their time screeching about video games online. And a lot of gamers, both casuals and more invested gamers even, just want video games to be apolitical. Yeah, they'll put up with a little bit of right-wing shoot-it-up nonsense and a little bit of woke trans rights bullshit, or at least as neutral as it can be in this hyper-political time that it seems that we live in. And it's probably making the same mistake that a lot of people made, that just because they are the loudest voices, that they are the majority. No, they're just the crazy people who have the loudest voices. Normal people don't really get the attention. That's the case for a lot of apolitical and more centric-minded people in gaming. So yeah, I know, it's fun to screech about how lefties are ruining the game, but not exactly true. It just seems that way on social media. There's many elements, and putting all at the feet of the gamers is not holding a lot of these companies accountable, which is a little bit ironic when we get to this Nintendo bit later.
Mother of God, I hate nostalgia eaters. People that just buy shit they're attached to despite how bad it is. They will buy every Pokemon game, every Assassin's Creed, every Battlefield, Call of Duty, God of War, Zelda, whatever you know. You know people will buy it. I can't stand these kinds of people. They go on YouTube and complain about this thing they know is going to be bad, and they buy it anyway. Hey, Manga Kamen, if you know that the Pokemon Scarlet game is going to be bad and you think the art style is shit, then don't buy the game. God damn.
Okay, calm down. I get the hatred for the blind consumer. But really, your example, Manga Kamen? First of all, he is a YouTuber who reviews media, at least from my knowledge. I don't really watch his Pokemon stuff. He consumes plenty of media that he does not like. Hi, Guardian Spies.
Alright, before you say it, let me get a few things out of the way first. No, this is not a review of the whole series.
Good work, wise ass.
I have no interest in reviewing the whole series. If you want me to review the whole series, you're gonna have to pay me $1,000 collectively. I got my Ko-Fi in description, so if you want me to suffer more, there you go. Either that, or give me 10,000 likes on this video, and I'll subject myself to more of this than more than the first episode, who knows. Secondly, due to me disliking Crunchyroll's previous practices and how snobby they were, I have vowed to never use their services, so...
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Secondly, does he tell people to buy it? I have no clue, okay? I sort of skimmed through his videos on that subject matter, and I didn't see it. Maybe if Anna Waifu provided a clip highlighting, an example, what he said that she found questionable, and not just the fact he bought the game, reviewed it, and shit like that. It would be a little helpful in illustrating what he said in the video that you really took issue with, Anne. Finally, the stupid, you don't like it, don't buy it, don't talk about it, the stupid shit that really the left does all the time, and it seems to be something you hate.
I didn't buy the game. I stopped buying Nintendo games a long time ago. Look, I get that. I get it. It's nostalgia. And look, Synthetic Man has to, review these games because that's his job. But everyday people or small YouTubers who buy the game despite complaining about it pisses me off. Maybe they will make this franchise good again if you quit buying the mediocrity.
Okay, it pissed you off. I get it. It's annoying. A lot of this shit's annoying, but again, WTF? Why bring up Manga Kamen as an example? As much as it might break your simp heart, he has more subscribers than Synthetic Man.
And Nintendo fans are the worst when it comes to being nostalgia eaters. They literally suck Disney off despite knowing full well how bad their company is run, how bad their games are, and how much crunch, and how they treat their workers like little fudge clucker fucks. But no, you all keep buying from Nintendo, who is basically the Disney of gaming industry.
Okay, well, now it makes sense. She hates Nintendo fans with a fiery passion. Again, broad stroke. Again, Anna's using broad strokes. And no matter how much she hates Nintendo, there are some people out there who like their games. Even some of them with good reasons to like the games. Not all of this is based on nostalgia. I have enough problems with the nostalgia blindness, or the more technical name for it, rosy retrospect, but the inverse of that is declinism, and I'm feeling a stink about that. There's a certain balance between the two. Like, for example, I'm a fan of, the cooler, edgier version of Pokemon, the Shin Megami Tensei series, and not just the Persona spin-off of that, the original games. And the 5th one came out for Switch. I also bought Zelda Call of the Wild, and I liked it. None of that is based on nostalgia. I skipped plenty of Shin Megami Tensei games and Zelda games in the past, mainly Twilight Princess for a while, but that was just because it took so long to come out, pre-order, some crap like that. But none of that was based on nostalgia. I looked at what people were saying, not just these people you're talking about, actually real reviewers who get into the nitty gritty, and after some thought, I bought the games and, again, enjoyed them both. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that to this little rant that she's making here, so I'm just moving on.
Lefties, the scariest thing ruining this industry. Lefties are something from another world, a species of alien that targets everybody that doesn't agree with them, wanting to cancel for the stupidest things, for not being politically correct in every area of life. They will call the deaths of your families if you vote Trump, if you say men can't be women, or if you say women should know how to cook and clean. Oh my god, prepare for World War IV. I can't believe we let it get this far. Like, how did this even happen? Oh, Anita Sarkeesian says that male gamers are sexist and racist pigs, and we all have to bow down to her wishes. But we all know why this happened. It was casuals, because as soon as lefties knew they could put their propaganda in their games, they did it. We all know this, except the ones who pretend it doesn't, or it's not as bad as people want to portray it. But we know the truth. We know why they're doing this, because I guess when they were kids and their daddies told them to read the Bible, that felt like being pansexual that day. So I guess to get their frustrations out, they decided to infiltrate our media and put the issues.
Well, this sort of contradicts the previous statement about leftists or lefties being the casuals. I hate what Anita brought into gaming culture also, as does many of the average, mostly sane gamers. But again, Gamergate was a weird time. Understand the public perception and crap like that. Personally, I think they had a strong point, but there was a few bad apples that the media painted to make them all look bad. And some people have just dwelled on that a little bit too hard. Even good things can be ruined, and you have to accept it and move on. I'm also thinking Anne sort of is lacking the understanding about this sort of cultural time period, because she's not bringing up Gamergate or any of this shit into the factor. It seems like a serious misstep. If she's seriously trying to make the case that the lefties took over, you figure she would talk about the sort of moments that led up to supposedly the lefties take over. They haven't taken over. They have a stronger presence, most likely. Sometimes it's good. Mostly, like with Anita and a lot of other crazy leftists, it's not. Maybe I should just wait. Maybe she'll get into it and not just read from her Bible of the Synthetic Man. I'm also thinking, especially from this section, she is leaning more into hyperbolic humor here. I think it's a little bit more clear here. Can't be sure, but like she plays up the whole Synthetic Man simp thing. But I can't be sure of that. I can't be sure she's playing it up. But I just think most people who do these YouTube videos, even me, play it up at least a tad for the camera or for their recording. Maybe I'm wrong on that for some people who are way too serious, but even when you do that, you should really have something insightful or relevant or accurate to sort of add to the mix. I'm not seeing too much of that. Maybe a little grain of something that could actually be considered factual. Okay, I'm probably being too hard. Maybe she really believes it is this way or really thinks it's funny. I just think there should be more to these videos, even with the hyperbolic humor, but that's just might be me.
And put the issues with their parents in media. Look, I get it. When I was suffering a bad depression in high school, I literally wrote fan fictions about characters who had depression. I get it. We put things in our lives that inspire us or trouble us when what we go through in day-to-day life and put that in our media we consume. But my god, did you have to do it to video games? Just write fan fiction or get therapy. Why do you have to ruin everything for everyone? Are you lefties that miserable about your mom making you go to church that you have to put harmful messages into already shitty video games to please yourselves? Where does it get you? Like, you know this stuff is failing because people are getting tired of it, right? You understand games like The Last of Us Part 2 or Forspoken failed because it leans so much into leftist politics that these games forgot how to be games?
Yeah, I'm hoping this is humor. People who claim to know the truth either are joking or are idiots who think they're smarter than most other people. Maybe all these people on YouTube are just the smartest and their opinion are the best. Now, I don't claim to know the truth myself. I fall back more on, educated and well-researched, at least to a certain degree, to sort of back up my opinion on these subject matters. It's not perfect, but that's why you need to talk it out with people, adjust your course, take criticism. I hope she can take this, even if it might be a little bit harsh. I'm trying to at least be better than these other douchebags. Getting back to the truth, it really comes back to akin to believe all women, intersectional feminism, who raves about we're living in a patriarchy, blah, 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 or not that it, or these, crazy QAnon believers, rightoids who thinks there's a shadow conspiracy and Q knows all about this lizard people trying to take over, blah, 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 and shit that would probably get me shadow banned on YouTube even if I didn't believe it and said what their beliefs are.
Look, I get it. When I was suffering a bad depression in high school, I literally wrote fan fictions about characters who had depression. I get it. We put things in our lives that inspire us or trouble us when what we go through in day-to-day life and put that in our media we consume. But my god, did you have to do it to video games? Just write fan fiction or get therapy. Why do you have to ruin everything for everyone? Are you lefties that miserable about your mom making you go to church that you have to put harmful messages into already shitty video games to please yourselves? Where does it get you? Like, you know this stuff is failing because people are getting tired of it, right? You understand games like The Last of Us Part 2 or Forspoken failed because it leans so much into leftist politics that these games forgot how to be games?
Okay, I like this attempt at empathy. I just really don't think the follow-through is very good. Yeah, Forspoken was practically abject failure on several different levels, but Last of Us Part 2? Hey, I'm not saying I like the game or even if I think it's good in any shape or form, but to call it a failure is just downright inaccurate, and people will call in question your credibility if you want to make this claim. I mean, seriously, it's still sold and got reviewed rather well. Didn't it win something? I might have blacked that part out because Ghost of Tsushima People's Choice Award, that just swept the board for me. I'm blanking on and everything else, but I mean, yeah, and the contentious thing about a lot of the elements, the leak, the killing of the dog, killing of Joel, how it was just handled, definitely put a crack in the fan base that I'm not sure if Naughty Dog will sort of recover from. Probably not. Don't know. You never know the lasting effects, but it's still something there, and it still wasn't a failure as it she's making it out to be.
Lefties are just miserable people that want to get revenge on their parents or their friends that don't believe in their brainwashing ideology. It sucks too, because people who actually want to make a female main character or a black character or a gay character or a story or whatever with no motive behind it, they will still get lumped into the category of being lefty, you know, casual, whatever, because we can't tell the difference anymore with the oversaturation of companies shoving all this leftist shit in our faces.
And at least I can agree with her last point, you know, to a certain extent. Not everyone who has minority characters are trying to push a political agenda. So that's a good thing, right? Okay, at least that's my hope. Now her conclusion is just really, you know, repeating the points down to a condensed format for the end, blah, blah, blah. Probably a smart thing to do if most of her points weren't, you know, just a tiny bit reductive to a lot of reductive. That is, it's also very, you know, doomerish, black pillish. As I brought up, this is really a great example of someone suffering, at least via the video, from declinism and mad at those who are suffering from rosy retrospective or nostalgia blindness, as is commonly known. It's really a topic I really need to make a video at some point. I have a start to it, but, you know, so many video ideas, so little time. Now, I can't say this video from Anna Waifu is very good or even really informative in any major way. It certainly has a, you know, an entertainment quality to it, you know, if you don't take it too seriously. But can the same be said about Baka-kun's video? And which is worse? I would say Baka-kun, but I'll admit to a bias against it because, you know, he makes a unresearched and untrue claim in his video about Anna Waifu about me.
Also, this bitch is genuinely subscribed to fucking Vincent Martin. That retard has been going around other people I know on YouTube trying to start shit over nothing and being an attention whore through and through.
Besides being totally untrue, Brother Near 2.0 is the one who came after me on Twitter and he suffered the consequences. This is a spineless bitch move, and even if I disagree with her, I can still have a civil conversation with Anna Waifu, at least most of the time from my experience. Who knows how long they'll stay up after this. So, Baka-kun and anyone else spreading this bullshit hearsay about me, really grow a pair. Think for yourself instead of gauge into your tribal group think that most people mock. But, you know, you target others that you actually think are more mock-worthy, and you do it as a group. I think it's because you're trying to hide the fact that no one will realize if you keep doing this, they'll forget about how much of a pathetic coward you all are. Take Krillix, for example. I mean, he was on the receiving end of this same exact tactic, but he turned it around, making Brother Near look like a fool, but, you know, he took his victory with such grace that they welcomed him with open arms, and now he's sort of in it. Who, as I am finishing up writing the script, seems to have joined this little Brother Near mob of this merry band of idiots with a video in Anna Waifu. We got too far from this group of gaming commentaries. Let's see if more come out or they'll just stop at 2. I'm predicting one more, maybe 2. We'll see. With that said, I'm done.